everybody. Welcome back to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper, and today I'm sitting with the cast from Disney Channel, Just Roll With It. The show is a first-of-its-kind series that combines scripted and improvisational comedy in which a live studio audience selects the outcome of certain scenes while the cast just rolls with it. Take a look. Hands together for Kaylin Hayman, Ramon, Reed, Suzi Barrett, and Tobie Windham.
Hi.
How you guys doing today?
Great.
Good.
Really good. Excited to be here.
Braving the rain. I mean, where did that come from? So thank you for making it here.
We've braved a lot worse on that show, so rain is no longer a threat to us.
So Suzi, I'll start with you. Describe the premise of the show.
The show is the show has never been attempted before. It is a piece of television history. It is a hybrid between a scripted family sitcom and complete improvisation and stunts and circus tricks. So basically, we rehearse a 30-minute sitcom every week, and then while we are filming what we've rehearsed, they surprise us at certain moments in the show. We don't know when those are gonna come, and the audience chooses our fate. We don't know the options that they see. We don't know what's gonna happen, and then we have to like improvise around it and then work our way back into our scripted lines.
So before we get into more of that, Tobie, can you break down who's this family? Break down this dynamic for me.
This is the Bennett-Blatt family. I play Byron. I'm a DJ, and I'm like the charismatic, charming, fun dad that's always trying to do the right thing, but I make a lot of mistakes. Suzi plays Rachel, she's my wife, and she's the owner of this
Beautiful.
Beautiful, amazing wife.
Smart.
And I would call, she is my lifeline. Like, just like any relationship where you have balance, where it's like the crazy one needs the one that's like, nah, I got you, baby, and the organized one. And that's who she is. And these are our kids. We got married, we've been married a year and a half, and we're figuring out how to work this relationship and also this family. And Ramon plays Owen, who is super studious, always on it and very organized, which is very much like my wife. And Kaylin plays Blair, and she is that's my person right there. We get each other. We get it. We get each other very well. And she's the rebellious one. But Byron, my character, he loves that about her. And he's like, please talk to my child so that I can go and talk to your child and help us make this happen. So.
I love it. Those dynamics you just described are so fun to watch play out. And then you have, again, the extra heightened aspect that there's a live studio audience there and all of the craziness that ensues. For you two, what was it like when you first saw what the script and what the show was going to be like?
For me, it was probably just getting the script at first for the self-tape for the very first audition, but then going in for the callback, they kind of explained how the show was. And at first I was like, what is this? I don't get it. And then they explained it, and it just sounded so cool and so amazing to do. So it was a really big honor to be able to film the pilot and then get picked up for a first season.
And I have to say, we were at Kaylin's callback, and to test whether the kids were up for doing some of this crazy stuff, they gave her this hot pepper, and they were like, this is a ghost pepper. It's the hottest pepper in the world. You have to take a bite. And she was like, okay. And then we're like, stop.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't.
Right.
They had to stop me. I was just about to take a bite, and they just went, no. Right. Like, I was about to do it. I wanted to do it.
You're like, don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I like spicy food.
Yeah, well, I don't, so you can have all my spicy food. Ramon, how about you? What was your first sort of reaction to what the show was going to be?
I was really confused about how this dynamic was going to work with the people I was going to be working with, and also the approach they were taking to the show and what was going to be happening. And then when you actually get in the room and they explain and they break it down, like how this works and our protocol and what's going to happen throughout the show, then you start to understand it, and you're like, whoa, this is something really special that's never been done before, and we're making history.
Yeah, it is so special and unique. But you guys, every time that that bell sounds or that sound, the looks on your faces, it's hilarious because you guys are actors, right? So you're in your scene, you're doing your thing, and then it's like, and all of your faces are just like, all right, let's do
Right.
this.
We have spent Monday through Thursday, like full days, drilling all of those scenes and finding our acting moments and our comedic timing, and then it just totally takes us out of it. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. And the foghorn, it's a loud noise, so you kind of just, you hear it, and then you kind of just look out because it's just a noise that all of a sudden comes. But then you get excited because you're just like, oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? It's kind of, it's a mix of feelings.
Like hearing a large truck here in New York, just going like, wham, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's like, huh? Well, no, we're not there right now. Yeah.
What I think is really special about that clip we just saw and the first episode in general, we rehearsed this first episode, but we still didn't have a full understanding of what this show was going to be and how it was going to run and how everything would connect together. So throughout the episode, you see us like, oh, this is how it works and this is how it's going to happen. And then we were like, okay, we've had enough. On the last one, we were completely done.
And Suzi, I know you have a pretty extensive improv background with UCB. So is that something that drew to this project? And what sort of impact have you had on the kind of the younger cast members, like teaching them how to improv?
It totally drew me to the project. I've been a part of several sort of try and failed experiments in trying to bring improv to a pilot sitcom form. And this is the only one I've ever been a part of that worked and took off. And this is also the only one that uses the audience element. So it's so smart what they're doing. And it's so successful because the audience is involved. So yeah, I've loved that from the get-go. And these guys they're two, you guys are gonna see, these are two stars about to bust out into the world. I've been amazed at their abilities, even with being like untrained improvisers. They're so fearless, they're so talented. We have run some improv workshops with them where I will like teach them pointers or tricks or here's what I know about musical improv and here's what you can do for this kind of a scene. But they've picked it up so quickly. For example, we worked on like freestyle song building and stuff one week, and the next week, we had done it once for like a half an hour, and the next week there was a horn where the audience voted that these two had to freestyle rap, and I'm talking about Kaylin snatched the mic and immediately went into like full verse, rhyming, Ramon's landing every rhyme. Tobie and I were off stage crying like we were the real parents.
Yeah, real parents. We turned into that moment, and we were looking at each other and was like,
Oh my God.
and it was amazing. And the show, we have so many moments where, I want to, not just the kids, Suzi has taught all of us, just build one brick at a time in those improv sections where we have to trust each other and it doesn't all fall on you to make a story. And that's what I love about what this is giving us, that
Right.
It's opening us up to be more creative by trusting one another. Like, I don't have to feel like everything is on me in this scene. I can say one thing, and then I look to Suzi, and she got it. I look to Ramon, he got it. Kaylin. And that's what's so beautiful about it. That's what's helping our family unit, too, also. I think that's what people are going to draw to. Because it's just like if, with the rain, and all of the rain just started pouring in on us, we all would have to figure out what we need to do. And people will start taking positions like, boom, I need to do this. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab towels. I'm going to do it. That's what happens to us. And it's so beautiful when I'm watching them. And I'm in it, too. And I'm always like, guys, was that funny? What did we do? What just happened? Because it's so real.
But you have the audience there. So what has that been like? Because you know if you've done it right or if it's funny because you have a live studio audience there giving you feedback in the moment.
Right. With the studio audience, it's crazy because the day before we do the live show with the audience, we pre-tape the show, which is a regular hilarious sitcom without the crazy scenarios that happen. And we still have no clue what's going to happen the next day. And we have to keep it grounded because we can get so excited about this amazing joke or this amazing punchline that we have. And then we get the note that, guys, you have to keep it grounded. You have to keep it real for these crazy things that we do to spike the show up. So like that, and then with the audience, they give us a whole lot of energy.
Yeah, it becomes like a real circus in there.
Right.
It's like they are on their feet, cheering, screaming. There's been times where they start like chanting stuff for us to like eat more of the gross thing we ate.
Right,
or
right.
There's an episode where they literally gave Tobie a haircut on stage. And the audience voted for that. And then they got to vote on the type of haircut, and they voted mohawk. Tobie's real life barber entered the set. Like they had called his wife secretly and found out the barber. Barber comes to him with clippers, and the kids start chanting, higher, higher. Like they were like out for blood, like a gladiator match or something.
It was, and this is where the audience feels like they are a part of the creation of this. They are part of the writer's room at that moment where they get to say, oh, this is what I want to see. It's choose your own adventure. And I love hearing them say, higher, higher. I'm really glad they picked Mohawk, too, because I knew another option was old man.
Oh, I wanted
and I
you
would
to
have
have
done
a
old man
cul-de-sac.
easily. Like, I'll give that, like, take that
I
out.
wanted you to have a cul-de-sac. So
Another one was bald,
call
and
it
I was so glad they didn't pick bald. Like,
And right after that moment, this is also super important. They said, now we want Suzi to do it. And you saw the look on Suzi's face. And she went for a second, and what did you think?
I thought they were gonna cut my hair. They came and put the like apron around me, and the clippers came, and they're like coming towards my ear, and I was like, my thought process, I'm like, I need my hair for auditions. Wait, I have this job. I'm not gonna have to audition for a while. If they want to cut my hair and put me in a wig, all right, I'm gonna have a weird haircut for a while. Okay. And then at the last minute, they stopped it, but they fooled me good. I was sweating.
But that's what the show is built on, us just being ready to step into situations, and we know that we're going to be taken care of. Like, nothing has ever hurt us. We know that people, like, there's a whole nother script. It's called the Salmon Pages, where we never see anything, and that's where all of the foghorn happenings happen in there.
And they have a whole team of like stunt people and creative people that come in after hours and test the stuff like round the clock. So it's all like fine-tuned. There's a kid who's exactly halfway between the size of Ramon and Kaylin who comes in and tests all 9 options that they would have to do during the thing. And they said he just like comes in, like deadpan, like does all this stuff and then like
Right.
goes home.
And like with all the people who do these Salmon Page things that we never get to see, there's a lot of them that we don't even know work on this show who work on the show until
whole
like
nother room.
Yeah, it's like, where did you come from? Why are you here? Are you supposed to be here? Because you never
I
see
build the
those people.
slime can.
Right. Yeah.
sometimes we go to lunch and we see these people that we've never seen before, and we're like, oh, they're probably just part of the stunt. Like, they set up the stunts. They're probably just people we haven't seen. They end up being in one of the stunts, and we're like, we saw you. How did we not realize that? And it's just crazy how they just sneak all that past us. Yeah.
Kaylin, what is the craziest thing you've had to do on the show?
It was a few weeks ago, but a horn went off. It was the second horn in our show. And they sent me to Tucson, Arizona. So basically, the horn went off. We went backstage. We came back, started the thing. My mom came out, escorted me out of the stage. A car picked us up. We drove to the airport, got on a plane, went to Tucson, filmed all day, came back home, and yeah, that was my weekend. Like, we flew on. It was crazy.
We still couldn't believe it was real. Like, we weren't sure if they were just kind of like acting like it until she started like FaceTiming us from Tucson and like sending us pictures.
This is amazing.
I got in the car and I was like, and they was like, okay, go on to the airport. I didn't believe it, and then we started going. We went to the airport, and we actually flew there, and I was just messed up. And
My brain broke. My brain broke watching it happen.
Right.
Because I was like, of course they have a set that's built.
Right,
It's going to be
right.
like Tucson. She left the lot.
She
But-
left,
I was
and
just
then we
like-
did the rest of the episode without her character. So there's lines that he had to change where he's like, listen, kids, and then he had to go, kid.
Right, but it's those things that take our show to a whole nother level. Like, what show has ever sent someone out of the state of California, or even out of the studio lot when you're working? It's those things that I find amazing with you guys, and we're all like, they really just didn't do that. And then it's like, did my mom pack something? When was she doing all of this? Yeah.
It's almost like a prank show, but it's like an ethical prank show because we've all signed up and volunteered for it. So it's like sanctioned pranks. So they're like messing with us and breaking boundaries, but like we're in on it too, so it doesn't feel mean, you know?
That's something that was so fun to watch. It's like when one or two of you was having to do the challenge, the other ones are just laughing. And I love that. So how much does that encourage? They're like, you guys can like, you're basically like an audience yourself watching the castmates go through this. Was that like Ramon? Sorry.
It's a good feeling because you're like, I'm here to support you guys, whatever you're doing, but I'm glad it's not me. I'm glad I'm not eating tentacles or something. So it's like you're still supporting, but you're still like, ooh, too bad for you. Yeah.
Like in the pilot, Tobie and I had to eat something gross, really gross, and I put it in my mouth and I wanted to chew and I wanted to swallow it because the audience, they were so excited. They couldn't believe it. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for them because it's going to make them happy. It's going to make them know that this is real.
And this is my job.
This is my job.
What happens, after the horn goes off? You guys have to actually leave the set while they set up.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do during that time?
They take us backstage to the hair and makeup room and they shut the door. So we're like down a hall and closed in a room so we can't hear or see anything that's going on out there. And they have a behind the scenes camera crew that like interviews us and gets our thoughts on like what we think is going to happen. And the shows are all full of like little footage from those moments so you guys can get a glimpse of like what our process is. And then they bring us back out when it's all set up. And sometimes we don't see anything different. Like the clip you just saw, we came back out to our normal set and we didn't know a dude was about to like fall through the roof, right? Other times we come out and there's like a giant dunk tank on stage or whatever, a live pig or, and it's like, okay, well, what's this gonna be?
I have to say, Tobie, you get me because you just kind of burst out laughing. Like,
yeah.
Because
it was a dummy that fell, and then from up under the table came a grown man, and that just
and it was an actor that in real life.
I knew him, and he looks right at me, and I'm like, oh my, I couldn't hold it, and I pride myself on being able to like, no, I can hold this, I can do it, but it's where Tobie meets Byron. Yeah. It's where all of that, my humanity, and that's what I love watching. It's like when I see all of us come through these characters, and we're laughing, but we're making it to the end of that, to the end of the scene. So it's so much fun.
No, you're fine.
I insist.
Okay. No, but I was just about to say, like, that blend of yourself and Byron or Owen or Rachel or Blair. And that's why I'm really appreciative. You know what I'm trying to say, appreciative of the behind the scenes, because after those horns, you get to see the emotions that Ramon and Kaylin and Suzi and Tobie go through when this horn is going off, and us processing and us thinking what's going to happen and us preparing for whatever happens, because we're probably not right with what we think's going to happen.
And especially when we come back on stage and you go to your set and you see nothing, like it looks the same, and all of a sudden something falls or someone brings in something. So that's probably, for me, that's probably the most surprising, when something just falls, but you kind of know it's going to happen because nothing looks different.
An example of that, I had, we had an episode where the window was open, and Rachel had kicked me out of the room because I had a friend over, and he was just causing havoc. And so I'm in the room with my daughter, and the horn goes off, and I'm in front of this window, and I'm like, what is about to happen? I'm thinking something's going to fall down on me. A snake comes through the window, which is, it could totally happen, like anywhere. Like it could start crawling in here at any moment. And it
This is a
comes,
serious
It's right there.
stop, don't do it, don't do it.
Ramon, don't do that to me.
I'm
Do
sorry, I'm
not
sorry, I'm
do
sorry.
that to me. My heart just dropped.
This is like a viper that is the longest breed of snake that exists in North America. An 8-foot long viper. Continue.
Y'all. So it comes in, and at first it's on my neck, and at first I'm like, oh, it's just one of those things you stick in a toilet. It's just like the little pipe thing. And then all of a sudden the thing turns around and looks at me. And this is this is literally what happened. Kaylin was in the scene with me too, so I was like, how do I protect both of us? How do I not move and don't get bitten, but this thing can't get over there because if she get bitten, this show is like, we can't do that. But we had to explain how safe the snake was, and it was an endangered species. But it wrapped itself around my neck. And
Took your headphones off.
Oh.
and the whole time I'm
That's
like,
power.
I'm like, and then afterwards, I get off, they take it off, and the whole time I knew the handler was behind me. It was always safe. And then I go off stage and I just lay down on the ground because everything had built up. We were safe. I think we got the scene. This is like, I don't remember. I do not know. But then they came back and they were like, Tobie. And then Suzi started fist bumping me, and Ramon was like, you just did that. And and those are the moments where it's like, that backstage, someone caught that footage of us just being like, yo, we did that.
Family.
Right.
We've bonded so quickly. I mean, I loved all these guys from day one, but like by the end of the second week, we were like, yo, we are a family. Because nobody else on earth has ever gone through an experience like this, and it's us figuring it out together in front of an audience. So it's wild. I was gonna say, like, these are all great examples of why I think this particular style of improv is really like a home run, because we are improvising a scene as our characters, but some of these events that are happening to us, they demand authenticity. You cannot help but react when a bucket of water is thrown on your face. You know, you're gonna laugh a little bit or like sneeze or whatever. And it's those like messy, real reactions that you don't see in other like even improvised shows. Normal improv is just fast writing, but you're still in control and you're still choosing what to say. And this, we don't have a choice. It demands reaction, it demands honesty, vulnerability, and those are all the like messy, outside the lines things that you don't usually get to see from actors on TV. Tobie was sweating through his shirt when that snake was around him. How often on TV do you see someone like pit out in front of your very eyes, you know? But they leave it in, like the show is messy and it's like, it's real. And we get one take, you know, you get that one shot, and then what you guys get to see at home is that one moment in time. It's true improv, you know.
Tobie, I hope you ask for a raise after that.
Not if
As
no,
an
but
example,
that's why I rolled with it, like, because I knew I understand what we're creating, you know, and it's like someone has gone through that. A snake has came out on someone in their life, and I enjoy telling that story from my perspective with these.
Tobie has a
Funny
very
thing.
specific audience.
Yeah.
A
Who,
subset.
Tobie? Who?
Who? Name them.
That's fine.
as an example of just like our are just doing improv in this show, but also just how close we are, is when that snake went around his neck, the executive producer, Adam Small, told me just stay in the bed. Just don't get out of your bed. Don't do anything. And when I saw the thing come around and look at Tobie, and I just saw him like just sitting there, just in fear, I was about to like get up. I wanted to get up and like take something to get the snake off of him. I wanted to go and help him, but he told me to stay in my bed, and plus I don't like snakes. So I was going to be like, I'm going to help you, but over here.
Thought was there.
Yeah.
Right.
The thought, and that's
Right.
what's important. Before we go, guys, we have a couple of questions from the audience.
Do it.
Who do we have first?
Hi. So I have a question for my website, buildseries.com. One of your fans wants to know, how close are you guys off screen and how similar are you to your characters?
We are really close off screen. Off screen and on screen. We have a family dynamic everywhere we go. Like right now, this is a family dynamic. Out there, it's a family dynamic. I'm 50% like Owen because Owen, I'm way more chill and laid back than Owen, but I do have that sense of organization and being on time and wanting the good grades and good grades, and always trying to do my best. So that's how me and Owen are the same.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Well, we're really close off screen. We're like a family on screen, and we're like a family off screen. Like, it's the same thing. But I would say I'm like 50% of Blair because I'm not as rebellious as she is, but I like adventure. I like going new places and sometimes breaking the rules, yes. But I like being a goody-goody
Your mom here.
sometimes. She's right there.
Mom, watch her.
In the back.
I like being a goody-goody and like getting good grades. Blair doesn't really care about that. So I would say it's like a 50-50.
I'm 100% Rachel. I think I'm so much cooler than I am.
love that.
I always find out how old and out of touch I am with like technology and stuff, and I'm a pretty OCD perfectionist. I'm classic Virgo.
Classic Virgo.
You saying that lets me know now. I'm like, yes, you are. There you go.
I'm probably 100% Byron as well. I try to, if there's a wall, instead of figuring out how to get around it, I just run straight through it.
Kool-Aid
and
man.
Right? And end up hurting myself, like, oh, why my knee hurt and all that. And that's who he is. But he'll get through the wall. And I think that's what, and if it's like, I got to protect my family, go through the wall, come on through. And so instead of trying to stop it, I'm totally that person.
And I have pre-priced new walls, so I'm always ready to fix it.
That's a good wife.
And she's good at drywall, so
That's
there you
right.
go.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's softer on the body.
Next question.
Hi, guys. I've heard some improvisers talk about rules, like saying yes or don't ask questions. And I want to know if there's any rules you try to follow or rules that you don't really like.
Saying yes is a tricky rule that it's true. What I take issue with is I think a lot of young improvisers confuse that with like never being able to say no as
Come
your
on, Suzi.
character. And what it really means is you're always saying yes to the reality. So if I say to my fellow scene partner, like, hey, let's go light ourselves on fire, that character doesn't have to say, yeah, okay. They can be like, no, are you crazy? But they do have to agree with the fact that I have a lighter in my hand and I'm proposing this. If they said, that's not really a lighter, that's a banana, then that's them saying no to the reality. Does that make sense? Yeah. But yeah, the rules are a good guideline for beginning improvisers. And the don't ask questions thing, it's sort of training wheels that you can get rid of once you're more experienced. But if you're just starting out, a lot of young improvisers keep asking each other what's going on, and then you're demanding that the other person come up with the idea. So if you go like, where are we? And they go like, doctor's office. Oh, and who are you? I'm the nurse. Rather than offering a piece of information that helps build the house together. So like, hey, doctor, sorry I'm late. Oh, it's all right. We were just figuring out our new computer system. That way, like, each person is bringing a little piece of this reality, so you're not making one person lift all the heavy weight by themselves.
Right. And like building one brick at a time and adding new elements to your improv scene, which is what Tobie was saying earlier. That's like one I live by, because sometimes I think we all can catch ourselves trying to add multiple things to this scene or this thing that we're doing at one time, but really we have each other who can also put bricks, and we have to realize that each of you and me, we have bricks. So when I'm out of a brick, I can go get another one, and you can put another one up.
And you can always break the rules, but like as a beginning improviser, it's good to follow them as total guidelines to like help you have a higher success rate in scenes.
I'm just impressed with how like mature these children are.
Isn't
Young
it crazy?
pros, they're pros.
Like, they are talking about craft.
My
and-
back hurt right now.
Guys, I really enjoyed watching this show. I got through the first episode, and the entire time I was engaged, truly. I couldn't wait to see what happened. And I think it's so fun because you're watching actors perform, but I'm also seeing you guys as people enjoying what's happening, which makes it like extra fun to watch. So I think people are really going to enjoy the show. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just roll with the premieres on the Disney Channel and Disney Now June 19th, but fans can catch an early first look on June 14th, guys.
Yep.
Put your hands together for the cast of
Thank
Just
you.
Roll With It.
Hey,
Thank you so
you.
much, guys.